What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to English TV Live. Hope you're having a fantastic Monday wherever you are in the world. This is Arts and Culture with Jacob. By the way, quickly before I forget, if you enjoyed that song, it's called Tiptoes. Tiptoes. If you're walking on your tiptoes in English, you're walking on the tip of your toes. And the music certainly does kind of sound like tiptoeing. You can use it as a verb too. The reason I chose that song is because it kind of reminded me of cats tiptoeing down a hallway, or perhaps tenants tiptoeing down the hallway to throw out something that they're not supposed to throw out down the garbage chute, which is what we're talking about today. I just moved into this new apartment. You can see I have a new background over here, and yesterday, I got into the elevator and I saw a very, very angry note from our apartment managers. And I thought, well, that's too bad that they're angry, but what a great note. What a great note to analyze for the English show today. And so I thought I would take it, we'd look at some of the language, we'd look at the tone involved, and yeah, that's what we're going to do today. Before we get into that, let me say hello to everyone watching. I see that inside of our private community, I saw a comment while I was waiting from Daniel who said, it's already June. Time is certainly flying. And yes, it certainly is. Already June. Crazy. Crazy to think. It's nice in Calgary right now. You can't see behind me. There's a beautiful view of the city. And it's not snowing. Everything is green. It's weird to see. Just a few months ago, like a month and a half ago, everything was snowing. But let me say hello to some people who are watching. Nalutsa is here. Mia Moon, Vicky. What's going on? Olga, Alexandra, Lisa, Rosancella, Natalia, Eugenia, Trudy, Arthur, Hannah. Han is watching too. Hello, hello. Tiptoes reminded me of a Tim Burton film. I don't actually know Tim Burton. Maybe I've seen some of his movies, but nothing is coming to mind. Maybe you can leave a movie that he did in the comments. Of course, really quickly, I mentioned last Friday that we had some big news to announce. If you're a private member, you heard this news yesterday. Some sad news and some happy news too. The sad news, of course, is that one of our founding teachers, someone who has been with us since the beginning, Emma, is leaving the English TV Live team. We're going to have a little goodbye party for her on Wednesday in the show that her and I will do together. The good news, the exciting news, is that we're making big changes inside of English TV Live, and we're going to be talking about those changes on Friday with Lloyd, Diana, and I. And we've got some really exciting stuff planned, so we're looking forward to it, to Friday's show. Let's get into it, though. All right, if you're watching on Facebook, on our public page, or on YouTube, what we're talking about today is an angry letter that was written by the managers here at my new apartment. It wasn't written to me, it was written to all of the tenants of Chelsea Estates, and let's take a look at it. So I have a picture of the letter right here. Now, if you're in the, I should make sure that my face is not cut off. If you're in the private community, you may have, well, you'll have the opportunity to read this letter. It's in a post that I made earlier, but I've actually written it out here so that it's easier to read, so you don't have to squint. By the way, that's, if you squint in English, you do that so that you can try to read something that's really small. That's squinting. So let's go over it. This was the letter. Now, while I'm reading this, I want you to think of the tone of this letter. What do I mean by tone? Tone means someone's attitude, okay? The attitude of a writer. You can kind of gather what their attitude is by reading the words that they choose. Yeah, so I want you to think about the tone and let me know in the comments what you think. As of June 1st, 2019, Chelsea Estates will no longer allow pets to incoming tenants. This decision has been made on the fact that some pet owners refuse to follow the rules of the property. We have repeatedly posted notices advising not to throw kitty litter and or pet feces down the garbage chutes. Today, the chutes were blocked again due to kitty litter and pet feces/pads. If you don't know some of the language that is used in this letter, don't worry, we'll talk about it. New tenants will not have the privilege to house a pet because a few pet owners have ruined it for everyone. For those of you who have pets and have found it difficult to rent with a pet because a landlord has refused pets on their property, it is for the exact reasons above. So that was the letter. It's still in the elevator right now, and it's, well, I'm not going to give you any hints. I already did, I guess, with the title of this lesson. But what do you think about the tone of this letter, first of all? We talk about writing often on this show. It used to be called Writing with Jacob. Now it's Arts and Culture. But tone is very important when you're writing in English. You don't only have to consider grammar and being grammatically correct. You also have to consider the words that you choose and how you put your sentences together, because the way that you do that communicates a certain feeling to the reader. And the first thing that I thought when I read this letter was, oh my God, they are very, very angry. It's a very angry letter. Mia asks, what's going to happen to the people that already have pets? I don't think anything. Perhaps management will just look at them with scorn, S-C-O-R-N, scorn, every time they see them. But they can't do anything. They can't tell people to move out because they signed the lease saying that it was okay for these people to have pets. So I think people with pets are safe. That's what I would say. We're going to talk about two things here, though. Like, what's happening in this? Why are they so upset? Why are these tenants getting in trouble? And the first thing I want to look at is, you can see that I have a few words emboldened here. Feces and garbage chutes. So what is the problem? Why are they upset? Well, this is a garbage chute in English. These things exist in apartments. A chute is basically just something that falls. I think we'll talk about that word more a little bit later when it comes to the Toby challenge. But this is a garbage chute. So you open the chute, you put your garbage in, and then the garbage falls all the way to the main floor, and it saves you time. But what are people doing? And I guess this is a big issue in many apartments. People are taking their pets' feces. Now, feces is just a formal word for poop in English. That's what feces is. Animal poop or human poop, it's called feces. That's the formal way to say it. If you go to a doctor, for example, that's one place in which you may hear the word feces used, because doctors often use formal language to talk about different problems that we have, and sometimes you talk about feces in English. In this case, people are going to the garbage chutes with their kitty litter, and they're not putting it in bags. Instead, they're taking it and they're dumping it directly down the garbage chute. And I guess the kitty litter, so kitty litter is where cats go to the washroom, that kind of like sand stuff underneath. That's kitty litter. And the kitty litter is getting stuck in the garbage chute and causing a bunch of problems. So it's causing a blockage. So that's why the management team is so upset. Two words I want you to remember there. One, this is what a garbage chute is. I find images are helpful to show these kinds of things. This is, now that you've seen this image, you'll know what a garbage chute is. And two, feces. Remember, feces just means poop. That's all it means. It's a fancy word for poop. Okay? Now, I have a question for you, the question of the day. And by the way, quickly, I remembered right now, make sure to download the newest podcast episode. Lloyd just released it. Go to EnglishTVLive.com/podcast. I believe expressions about fashion, some fashionable expressions. Go check that out on our website. But I'm going to leave you with the question of the day. And I'm curious to know, in your country, what is it like for people with pets? Is it difficult for people with pets to rent apartments? If you've been following me for a while, you'll know that my mom has 4 cats, 3 cats now actually. One of them recently passed away. But it is always a nightmare for her to try to find apartments or places to live in Canada, because a lot of places, they don't accept pets. Some places are okay with small little cats. A lot of places don't accept more than one pet or any pets at all. And that is the question of the day. So if you're in the private group, stick around. I'll be back in about 30 seconds here. If you're watching on one of our public channels on YouTube or on Facebook, have a fantastic Monday. We've got lots of exciting news coming very soon. And yeah, keep an eye out for that. Check out the new podcast with Lloyd also. I'll be back in about 30 seconds. Bye-bye. All right, what's going on, everyone?